Welcome to Pro Practice, your guide to refine, enliven, and illuminate the piano repertoire. I'm Josh Wright, and today's episode is part of the new technique series, and we're going to be going over F sharp, the key of G flat and F sharp, G flat major, F sharp minor. We're going to be going over scales, arpeggios, and then all the triads associated with G flat and F sharp, and all the seventh chords as well. We'll not only be going over fingering and how to, execute these properly, but each one of these videos in this series, each different key presents a unique concept, a unique way to practice these, so that by the end of the series, you'll have at least 12 different ways to practice your scales and arpeggios, and triads and seventh chords, so that you're not just saying, okay, I'm going to be working slow to fast only, or okay, I'm going to practice high fingers only. You're gonna have a lot of different options. Today, I'm going to start with triads. Each video I alternate which one I start with so that you get a nice sampling of each. From G flat major, let's just go over the fingering really quick. 5-3-1, 5-2-1, 5-3-1, 5-3-1. And again, an inversion is just a reordering of the triad so that you put the bottom note on top, bottom note on top. If that's going a little fast for you, if this is your first video you've ever watched of Pro Practice, go back to the C major video, just the key of C, and I go over the triads, inversions, and inversions in a lot of detail, okay? So let's just play through these right hand and then left hand, then hands together, and then I'll go over the unique concept that we're going to apply to this, all right? Okay, let's try left hand, 5-3-1, 5-3-1. So the right hand goes 5-2-1 on first inversion. This one you're gonna keep 5-3-1, 5-2-1 on second inversion, because your hand's a little more spread out on the fourth. Okay, and then 5-3-1. Okay, so 5-3-1, 5-3-1, 5-2-1, 5-3-1, 5-2-1, 5-3-1, 5-3-1. Okay, and then hands together. Okay, let's go through the rest of them. Let's go to F sharp minor, 5-3-1, same fingering. All you do to get from major to minor is you drop your third, a half step. All right, here we go. Okay, diminished, drop your fifth. Find augmented, you slide back to major and raise the fifth. Okay, so we'll go slow on this one so you can watch. And depending on which augmented chord you're doing, sometimes you can change the fingering. So like 5-3-1 in the right hand, 5-3-1, 5-2-1, or 5-3-1. You can choose what you want. A lot of times on augmented, I'll just switch over to 5-3-1 on everything in the right hand. And the left hand, same thing. For the unique way to practice this is a wonderful exercise that I would just call the up-down exercise. Okay, what you do, you gotta be diligent about this, because I've been sitting in lessons with students and explained it perfectly, and then they start out and they miss a step. Okay, so don't skip this step. You could even put your second finger into your palm like this, and all I want you to do is practice popping up and down, okay? So you kind of just push it up with your second finger and then back down, okay? And you're gonna try and go as vertical as you can without hurting yourself. You don't need to like strain or anything, but just come up and down, okay? So just do that a bunch of times, get that going. Okay, now what I want you to do is come up here and then throw your hand down. Okay, come up here, throw your hand down. Come up here, throw it down. I don't want you to let it fall. I want you to actually throw it, okay? So up, down. Up, down. So just do that a bunch of times on the keys, and you throw your hand down. That is the most important thing that every student misses. They go up, down, and they gently, you gotta, if anything, throw down quicker than you go up. Up, down, up, down. What this is gonna promote is just this amazing activity and flexibility in your hands. So if you're playing really fast staccatos like that, or even something like see how springy my hands are, but they're relaxed? Or or so that's what we're going to try and promote. Okay, let's just start with G flat major. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up, throw our hand down into the next position. So you're landing on your next position. Up, down, and say it out loud. Remember to throw your hands down. You're going to be so sick of me saying that by the end of this video, and I hope you are sick of it because then you won't forget it. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Minor. Let's actually try left hand. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Sometimes you'll re-strike a key, and that's okay. You might go when you first start. Don't re-strike it if you can help it, but if you're just learning, that's okay. But get rid of it as soon as you can, the re-strike. Okay? You look ridiculous doing it, but what it's going to promote so much natural movement. And I think this is so helpful as well in just slow pieces, like if you're playing. Just like a simple hymn, Abide With Me, rather than just playing kind of with this rigidity, rather than it will give you kind of this flexibility in your wrists. So again, this is a super valuable exercise that I learned from really one of the world's greatest teachers. So let's go and do F sharp minor. Diminished. Okay, and then augmented. So slide back to major and then raise the fifth. This act of up down, watch how quick I can. It's not this. You can tell. I'm just up down, up down, up down, up down, up down, up down, up down. Even when you stay close to the keys, you're gonna quickly be able to move around. That helps you be more accurate as well because you're used to moving very quickly. Okay, so let's try all of them. Okay, so remember, throw your hand down. Remember, up, down as quick as you can. And then also remember to keep your hand loose while you're doing it. Don't tighten your fingers. Don't flex like up, down like that. Your hand should be like a wet mop. And so that's why I just have you do this a bunch of times and kind of slap the keys. Try to get a slap without hitting the keys down. That will give you the right kind of throwing down into the keys. Okay? Again, you're never actually going to play like that. What it's promoting is looseness so that when you're playing from the keys, you can get that kind of flexibility to be able to play octaves or chords or even single notes faster. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to move on to seventh chords. All right, so to start out with, start with just your G flat major triad with 1, 2, and 3, and then add an octave on top with 5. Now slide down one note. This is a G flat major 7 chord, okay? Play that with me, G flat, B flat, D flat, F. Okay, to find your G flat dominant chord, or F sharp dominant more commonly. F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, E natural. Okay? To find F sharp minor 7, F sharp, A natural, C sharp, E. So all we did is we dropped the third from dominant. Okay, to find half diminished, you drop your fifth. And then to find fully diminished, you drop your seventh again. Okay? Again, spelling, if you want to respell the chord, you have to respell everything. What I mean by that is you can't say G flat, B flat, D flat, E natural. You'd have to say F flat there if you're going to do a G flat dominant. Because remember, chords are always spaced in thirds. G, B, D, F. So you take away all of your flats, G flat, B flat, D flat, F natural. Take away all the flats, naturals, whatever, and it better be thirds stacked up. And sure enough, G, B, D, F. Okay, so there we go. G flat, B flat, D flat, F natural. Okay, now if I do this, it doesn't turn into E natural, it turns into F flat because you have to manipulate those original tones. Now, if you decide to completely respell the chord with F sharp major, or sorry, F sharp dominant 7, it would be F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, E. F, A, C, E, and sure enough, those are spaced out. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you can shoot me an email and I can maybe explain it more in depth, but I think it's pretty clear. Okay, let's go through and play all of our our seventh chords in inversions. I'm going to go real slow. I'm just going to do one hand so you can see it a little easier, and I'll switch between each one with the right hand, left hand. Okay, here we go. Down, either F flat or E natural, depending on whether you're in G flat or F sharp. Again, an inversion is just a reordering of the notes, so if you're getting confused, you can just use your left hand to help you, and put that on top, look at the chord, play it, put that on top, look at the chord, or you can roll them as you go. That also helps. I said we would do some with the left hand, so let's go ahead and do the minor with the left hand. Oh, sorry. Drop your fifth down to get to half diminished. Drop the seventh down to get to fully diminished. Try them hands together now. All right, here we go. I like to go up a little higher. It's a little harder. It's really hard to hear down here, whether you're playing them right. A little more clear, really clear. Right here. Again, total looseness. I'll do fully diminished. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Throw your hands down. Okay, now let's try it fast. Your hands will feel springier. It's really cool. It's like they have like these special powers. Not really special powers, but it's like they're much more capable of. They have like more energy. It's like a little kid. They're just ready to bolt off at any time versus, you know, someone who's very overweight and just kind of very lazy and, you know, you don't want to get out of your chair. You know, ready to go. Almost like jumping with excitement. Okay? All right, let's move on to, I guess we'll go with arpeggios next. Okay, so the fingering for G flat major, right hand is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Really easy. Easy fingering, but it can be a difficult arpeggio because you're on all blacks and black keys are skinnier than whites. So that can be a challenge. What you can do, I want you to get it really good curved on your fingertips. That will ensure that you have good accuracy, and then when you're playing faster, you can flatten your fingers ever so slightly to increase the surface area, which will increase your accuracy. Again, you're not playing flat fingers, and you're certainly not letting those joints collapse. If you can see it on this overhead camera, you're not going to let your joints collapse like this, okay? But you can just slightly flatten the curve out from there to there, and that should help you put a little more surface area on the keys. Let's see. Which should help your accuracy. Let's see. Okay, let's try it. Let's see. Left hand, 5, 3, 2, 1. sharp. Let's try the up down exercise. It's not fast. Again, you're always landing on your next note. Okay, F sharp minor is a totally different fingering. Okay, some like Hanon has you start out with 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. You could either start out with 3 or 2 or 4. Either one, any one of those is fine. I think 4 is the most uncomfortable. I actually like 2 better than 3 because I can spread out my hand a little quicker. So I like 2, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. Again, if you wanted to be technically correct, you'd end with a 4 and you'd start with a 4 because 4s are on every other F sharp as you go. But for comfort's sake, to start out with, you can start with a 2. Okay? Let's go over that slowly. 2, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2. Okay, left hand. 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. Okay, let's try it hands together. Let's go. And that seems like it would be a tough one. It's not super easy. It's not the easiest arpeggio, but it's actually fairly comfortable. And the reason is because the hands are mirror images of each other. 2s and 4s come together, 4s and 2s come together, 1s come together. 2s and 4s, 2s and 4s, 1s. Okay, feels good. Let's try G flat major. Let's do our up down. I'll put the springiness into it. You could actually hear it was a little lighter and more confident right there. All right, so finally, let's go over scales. Okay, so G flat major, start with a 2. 2, 3, 4. 4s are going to be on B flats. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me go a little slower. That was a little fast. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay? Okay, left hand. Start with a 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on. Okay, now real slow hands together. Let's just do 2 octaves to start with. Down. Throw your hands down. Struggling on the way down. Okay. Now, F sharp minor. A lot of people struggle with this one. I think it's probably due to the fact that it starts out on weird fingering again. So the proper fingering, if you were to look in the context of the rest of your scale, would be 3, 4. A lot of people start on 2, 3. If that is screwing you up, don't start on that. It's not worth the tiny bit of extra comfort to start to screw up your entire scale. So if it's hurting you, just start with 3, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. again, every scale boils down to 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're getting a little piece of the 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So sometimes they're just offset a little bit. Like on your majors, on your white key scales, a lot of times it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. On your black keys, sometimes they're offset a little bit. So we have that little bit of offset, but then it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try left hand. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. So that's a friendly start. That's easy. 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry, didn't finish it. And at the top, you don't need to cross over to 4 and then come back down. You can just cross to 2, since that's less of a stretch, if that's easier. I think it is. Let's go real slow. I like to do 4 octaves because it gives you a lot of practice being all over the keyboard, getting used to longer runs. If you just practice, that's effective for sure. That's great. That's a lot better than 1 octave or no scales practice at all. But 4 octaves really gives you the chance to see how consistent you can be over longer stretches, which helps in like etudes or those types of pieces. So a little sloppy. Let's try our exercise. By the way, you can almost feel your finger plucking it a little bit as you go back. So like you have a little bit of finger staccato and wrist going up. Just a little tip. What am I going to say? Throw your hand down. Obviously something's working. That sounded a lot better than the time before. Let's go through everything. Here we go. Start with scales. Ah, that's pretty sloppy. Oh, good grief. There we go. G-flat major. Switch my fingering. Give myself a second to reset here. I'm noticing I'm coming up short, so I need to think of a little bit bigger of a stretch. Good, it worked. All right, so now let's try triads and inversions. Then slide to augmented. Okay, now let's try 7th chords. I'm going to go a little slower. That one's too early. If you ever find yourself screwing up like I just did, just practice the one that's giving you trouble. Okay, now let's try it in context. By the way, my brain is the one fixing this, not my fingers. A lot of people think I gotta drill it a million times. If you focus on something differently, sometimes that automatically fixes it, as you just saw. I fixed it in 2 seconds. Did my fingers suddenly become more talented? No, it's just I was just focusing on something different. Let's see. Concludes today's practice. If you have any questions at all, my email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Just to reiterate, every one of these videos can be the unique skill or exercise presented in each of these videos can be applied to any other skill. That one isn't like specially designed for F sharp or G flat. I just chose a random order, kind of in level of difficulty, I think, to go through these. So 5 rhythms was last video. This one's this up-down exercise. So if you have any questions at all, again, my email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your support of Pro Practice.